The AFEX Commodities Index is the first of its kind index that is introduced into the Nigerian capital market. And the idea for it is to provide a transparent way for investors and buyers in the commodities market to be able to track prices of such commodities. As you mentioned, on a season-to-date basis, we have a return of 18% on the composite index. And if you look at the sub-indices, which is the maize, the paddy rice, and the soybean, we see a bit of diversifying effect on the commodities. With this information available, we hope to drive more investors' participation in the agri space, bringing in more funds into the market to drive liquidity across all sectors of the commodities. Maize is one of the highest, it's one of the most liquid commodities traded on the exchange at the moment, and we see a lot more traction gaining in the space over the next couple of months.
Okay, well, what are those factors that are impacting on prices and just the general movement of these commodities?
So, about 6 weeks ago, we saw increased inflow of produce into the market due to harvest by smallholder farmers across the production states. This greatly affected price of commodities early in the season, driving prices down. Now we see a lot of stabilization taking place in the market due to buyers having taken their positions, and a lot of off-takers already warehousing these products ahead of consumption further down in the year. We see this trend to continue over the next couple of months because price of commodities will stabilize generally over the next couple of months, leading to more transaction going on the exchange, more value going to the smallholder farmers because they'll be able to take positions in the market to sell either in the forward market or in the spot market and have value for what they are putting out in the market.
Speaking about smallholder farmers, last year in 2018, you were able to achieve 25,000 farmers benefiting from your input program, things like especially fertilizer. Talk to us about your 2019 strategy and if and how you plan to grow this number.
Our strategy is to double the number by this year, but with a lot of variables come into play that will determine the visibility of this and how far we can go. And part of it is the impact of the ban on fertilizer produce from accessing the FX market by the CBN. This will increase the participation of local players in the market, but due to our strategic partnership with key producing organizations, we see little impact on our strategy for the year. By our books, we'll still be able to reach minimum of 50,000 farmers this season, in the wet season, and in the dry season, we should be able to reach additional 25 to 30,000 farmers on the inputs program. And this is one of the key products we are pushing out into the capital markets. We call it the input financing product, which seeks to bring financing from the investing public down to the smallholder farmers to give them value for their commodities and also give fair returns to investors in these products.
What will be the key benefit from that? I know you still have that in the pipeline, and I know that you're hoping that that will work out, but what will be the key benefit, and are you anticipating any challenges in implementing that?
So the key benefits will be twofold. One, to the farmer, in that he will have access to financing to go to the farm for production in a timely manner and at a fair interest rate. Now for the investors, the key benefits will be the ability to invest in an alternative asset class. As we all know, the agri market or the commodities market has a natural diversifying factors for the capital market as a whole. Now, creating an alternative asset class that will enable investors to stabilize their return is what these products will give to investors, whilst at the same time increasing value to the smallholder farmers in terms of timely availability of inputs, and also ability to go to the farm on time for the production season.
Now let's talk about the outlook for the agriculture sector here in Nigeria generally. Last year we did see a number of challenges. Key among them was the farmers-herdsmen clashes. We know that did impact. We also had cases of flooding in some parts of the country, but majorly the food belt of the country, states like Benue were adversely affected by those clashes, that crisis that we saw last year. We know that did have some impact on harvest and just the general production levels for farmers last year. What is your forecast for this year in terms of how we could see a rebound in that sector, and if you think that we could see a significant improvement across the value chain?
Okay, thank you. We see over the years, we've seen increased interest by the federal government and key stakeholders in the agri industry. We anticipate this to continue at a faster rate. There are a lot of issues that we cannot discount from the markets at this moment, but yet we see a positive outlook for all this production. Herdsmen crises, flooding, we don't expect much to occur because of the processes and procedures put in place by the federal government to tackle all these. That being said, one of the key issues facing smallholder farmers is access to finance. And if you can make this available for them all through the season, you'll see increased participation in the agri sector, and you'll see more people diversifying their asset holdings to invest in agri. Now, in the past couple of months, we did a partnership with Sterling Bank to make available funding to smallholder farmers across board. This is one of the such initiatives that we see propelling activities in the industry, leading to increased investors' participation and general activities across board.
But would you say that we need to reach more farmers? We need that number to increase significantly.
Yes, we do, because smallholder farmers are the bedrock of agriculture in Nigeria, and the more you have access to them to provide them with their requirements, the more value you get at the end of the cycle. Now, there are a lot of structures you can put in place to achieve this, and part of this is making the inputs available to them and creating a market for them at the end of the season. All these have been put in place by the exchange, and the other part we're doing, which will be our target over the next couple of months, is to create products that the public could invest in. Like I mentioned, absence of funding at the right time is one of the critical drivers of participation in the market. When you have products that is trustworthy and that has integrity embedded in it, you'll see more participation from the public sector into this market, which will by default increase the number of farmers participating on this. Now, the worry of the investing public is not unfounded, as most of them, as the upstream sector is not transparent enough due to not knowing who the farmer is or last mile reach with the smallholder farmers. Those are part of the structures we are putting in place at AFEX Commodities Exchange. You have a first-hand contact with the smallholder farmers, you put in structures to be able to identify him and work with him all year round. Then you create products that the investing public could invest in and make it available to the smallholder farmers.